Hi, welcome back to Ball Boys as always. So it's another big weekend of football football is coming quick and fast. Each week there's quite a lot of matches to be played all across all the top 5 leagues, but I want to focus on the Premier League. So we have a big fixture this weekend, maybe the biggest one for fans in Kenya, Arsenal versus Man United. Ni gani kali? Tutaona. So Arsenal versus Man United. So Man United drew to Crystal Palace at the weekend 1-1. Olise with a beautiful free kick in the 90th minute. And Arsenal won their last game at White Hart Lane, or whatever it's called nowadays, 2-0, with a clean sheet away from home, a ground where they have been losing a lot, or rather not getting a result. But both teams are coming into this game with a lot of confidence. I believe Arsenal's may be higher, considering Arsenal are playing at home, where they've been quite strong this season. They've only dropped 2 points. Manchester United away's form has not been the best, but they are still getting results. That's the most important thing. Now, I think how the game is going to pan out is that Arsenal is going to come out, play their football as always, try to be dominant as always. Man United are going to sit back and they're going to rely on the pace of the likes of Marcus Rashford on the transition to catch Arsenal on the counter, where I think they can hurt them, because as a unit, I think Erik ten Hag is setting up Manchester United very well. They know how to defend, they know what to do, especially when they get the ball. They know how to get the ball to the top end of the pitch, to their strikers and the attackers very quick, the likes of Eriksen and even Casemiro. They know how to pick their passes, they know how to intercept balls, especially Casemiro in that deep lying 6 position. But then Eriksen is their playmaker. So we don't know. I really think Arsenal will have the upper hand. I think they will go on to win. Don't know if that's because I'm biased, but even looking at it from a neutral's perspective, I think Arsenal are favorites. That's all I can say. But going to be an intriguing tactical battle between Arteta and Ten Hag. Ten Hag won the other one, but it's come out of late that the VR decision to rule out Martinelli's goal was wrong. So who knows what would have happened if that goal had stood. But I'm not complaining, because they beat us fair and square on the day, with a little help of course, but you have to ride your luck and you have to make your own luck. That's what they did. But I don't think that is going to be repeated at the Emirates. The Emirates is a different story. Arsenal have been really strong. As I said, they've only dropped 2 points to Newcastle, but Arsenal, I think, will win. My prediction, 3-1 Arsenal. I think Man United will win. For some reason, Arsenal always seem to concede at home. I think we've only kept 2 clean sheets at home, but we do well at home. We seem to outscore the other team, even if they score, but we'll outscore them. Arsenal have just signed Leandro Trossard, if you've seen, from Brighton for a fee of around £21 million plus add-ons. That's a good signing. He's 28 years old. He can play across the front 3. He can fill in for anyone if they get injured, tired, if we have to change up things when we are chasing games. But it's a good signing, a very good signing, a reasonable one for a fair price. He had fallen out with his coach, De Zerbi, so I think that made the deal easier to go through. So Arsenal and United fans will not like this, but 3-1 Arsenal. I'm confident. Come on, you Gunners, maze. Tunaua. So the other games, Liverpool versus Chelsea tomorrow on Saturday, early kickoff. Now, these are 2 teams who have been very poor this season. They've not lived up to expectations. I mean, Todd Bowley is playing. It's like he's playing FIFA, a football manager. You know, he's buying everyone he thinks of. But as much as we're making fun of Chelsea, I think they're building something. The likes of Mudryk, Joe Felix, and Nkunku is to come in. Madueke they've signed, so that front line looks like they're going to change everything. The likes of Ziyech, Pulisic, maybe they will be sold, even Sterling, who came in just this season. But Liverpool versus Chelsea at Anfield, Liverpool now. both these teams, it looks like they're competing who is going to perform worse. Chelsea lose to Fulham, Liverpool go here, hold mighty. They go on to lose 3-0 to Brighton. I mean, it's a really hard one to call. But at Anfield, I think a draw is a fair result. I can't see any team taking the game by the scruff of the neck and dominating proceedings. So I think a draw is how that game will pan out. I'm waiting to see Mudryk, what kind of a player he is, if he's going to perform. Yeah, for 100 million you should be buying. It should be something sure. I know I say that because but at the same time Arsenal were prepared to pay the same amount of money, but Chelsea paid it. So if he doesn't perform, he's a flop. That's what it is. Leicester versus Brighton. Brighton have been very strong away from home. At home, they're playing one of the best styles of football outside the top 6. Even better than Liverpool, better than Chelsea, better than Tottenham. If they keep on going at this rate, they might even make the Europa League. I mean, who knows? This season has been very strange. Stranger things have happened. Leicester versus Brighton. Leicester have been very poor. They're dropping into the relegation zone. So I think Brighton 2-0. Brighton are going to win. Have everything they need to beat Leicester, who are not at their best this moment. Brendan Rodgers, I hear he's on the verge of being sacked, but he's one of the most highly paid managers in English football. So his sacking would cost Leicester quite a bit. So I think even though he's not performing, his job is not quite as as maybe Frank Lampard's or even David Moyes. So I think Brighton will win. Southampton versus Aston Villa. This is a hard one at St. Mary's. Southampton won against Everton. Brilliant comeback. I mean, Ward-Prowse is carrying this team alone. 2 brilliant goals. He's the free kick master. I mean, he's only 2 behind David Beckham. I think he scored 16 direct free kicks. David Beckham with 18. And I really think he's going to break that record. I mean, two free kicks for Ward-Prowse, 3. What's that for Ward-Prowse? I mean, every time he steps up, it looks like he's going to score. So I think Aston Villa versus Southampton. I think Aston Villa have been resurgent after appointing Unai Emery as manager. I think they're going to go on and win. Aston Villa 2-1. West Ham versus Everton. This is a relegation battle. 2 teams who have been very poor this season. Everton, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, the fans, even the bodies at risk. They cannot attend games because their lives are at risk. That's the story that's coming out. So it's not good at Everton. West Ham, it's not also good for them. But they signed Danny Ings. Maybe he can bring a different dimension to what Antonio offers them. Mikel Antonio and even Scamacca, and even to partner with them up front or replace them. Who knows? But I think West Ham at home are going to beat Everton 2-1 West Ham. Bournemouth versus Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest have been very good. They've pulled themselves out of the relegation zone, but away from home, they're not the best team. At home, they are very strong, but away from home, they're not the best team. Bournemouth, Gary O'Neill, he was given the job permanently after being caretaker manager, but then they've not kicked on from there. So I think Bournemouth versus Nottingham Forest, I don't see anything other than a draw. I think maybe 2-2. Bournemouth versus Nottingham Forest. It looks like it's going to be a high-scoring game because Nottingham Forest away from home, they let in goals, a lot of goals. Crystal Palace versus Newcastle. Crystal Palace did well to get a point against Man United. They've been quite poor. They had lost 4 of the last 5 before they faced Man United. Crystal Palace have not been at their best. They have quality players, but I think Zaha is losing his mojo. But then they have young players like Olise coming through. They're a very good team, but Newcastle might be too strong for them. They have Alexander Isak back. Maximan is back as well. I think Newcastle 2-0, Newcastle 2-0 at Selhurst Park. Man City face Wolves. On paper, it looks to be a very easy game, but Wolves, since appointing Julian Lopetegui, have not been conceding as much. They've been quite resolute defensively. And Wolves versus Man City after battering Tottenham 4-2. I mean, the one time you support Tottenham and still, I can't even imagine how their fans feel because they were leading 2-0 at halftime and go on to lose the game 4-2. How does that happen when you're a so-called defensive team? Leeds, Man City are going to win 3-0 Man City, I think, at home. They are too strong. Leeds versus Brentford. Now I think Brentford are quite a good team. They've gotten themselves in a good position. Thomas Frank is doing a very good job. Ivan Toney is on fire. I mean, Leeds at home, maybe Elland Road, the fans and everything might give them a fighting chance, but Brentford are very good. Looks like it's going to be a high-scoring game. The reverse fixture, Ivan Toney scored a hat-trick. The game ended 5-2, but this one I think going for a Leeds win. Leeds 2-1. I think at Elland Road they are quite strong. The high-tempo football, they play out almost at 100 miles an hour every time. I think they are going to win. They might get a result, which will be very crucial for Jesse Marsch. He's not been doing great, as you know. And Fulham versus Tottenham, the last game. Now Tottenham are very bad. Fulham might even win the game at Craven Cottage. We saw what they did to Chelsea. Tottenham are very poor. I mean, the one of the few times they score fast, they go on to lose the game 4-2. They're very poor. That's all I can say. Fulham are very good under Marco Silva, doing a very good job. They didn't have Mitrovic, but they still beat Chelsea. Now Mitrovic is back. He missed a penalty against. Didn't quite miss it, but it was ruled out for. I think he touched the ball twice before striking. He touched the ball before striking it, so it was ruled out. But Fulham are very good. They could have easily beaten Newcastle. They had chances, but Newcastle nicked it in the last minute. So I'm going to go Fulham. 2-1 to Fulham. I think they are going to beat Spurs. That's all for today. So if you like the content, like, share, comment and subscribe. See you in the next video.